Hey y'all, welcome. I am Samantha. You are blessed, you are beautiful, and I thank God for you because life is tough. Life has its highs, it has its lows, and you keep pressing on, and you clicked on this video for a reason, so thank you for that. I just want to say I love you. I seriously love you. Whoever you are, I love you. This is major, okay? Like major for me in terms of my milestone or this new chapter in my life. And to give a little backstory, prior to me being more intentional in terms of the sanctification process, okay? Because it's a process. Prior to that moment, I was the kind of person who loved to dress up, loved to wear like funky hairstyles. It could be a bob one day, the next day it's long, the next day it's braided, things like that. I love to have fun with fashion, with hairstyles, with makeup. I even have a video from maybe about over a year ago where I said make makeup testimony, where I idolized makeup. Okay, that's understandable. I've learned my lesson. Cool, right? Another thing is that prior to me being more intentional with my relationship with Christ, I was involved in organizations in undergrad. And in these organizations, I loved to talk. I loved to present. And if there was like some kind of stroll song, like Nuck If You Buck, I'd want to be the first person there because I just like to show up and show out if I, was having fun at a party and stuff. So when I gave my life to Christ and became more intentional to walk through that process, which I'm still walking through, I went through like complete 180. And it's good because I've acquired so much knowledge, been through so many challenges, overcame them, learning about demons and how to cast them out, so many things. So in terms of my inner being, I'm growing, I'm flourishing, pouring into other people, and that's wonderful. But I did not realize that one thing that I haven't surrendered completely until this afternoon. So when you watch it, it's probably going to be a week before you watch it. But this afternoon, which is December 8th, prior to now, I did not surrender my personality. I feel like a lot of times when we hear of the word surrender, we're thinking the things that are toxic for us. So friendships, relationships, addictions, mental health in terms of, feeling like you are holding yourself captive or in bondage with your thoughts. And that's something that's always ongoing. We surrender people, forgiveness, but we don't surrender ourselves. We say we surrender ourselves, but we don't really dig deep in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that is preventing us that we know is sinful in nature, we surrender it. Okay, God, take control. We go back, we repent, we have grace. But in terms of our inner person, our confidence, we don't surrender that. Our personalities, we don't surrender that. And that could be something as simple as, God, I surrender my personality to you, my character. God, refine me, remake me, mold me to who you want me to be. And a lot of times for me, I thought that the reason why I didn't feel complete, because I always knew something was off, because it's like, how can you be this person who just loved to just talk to people and socialize and then now be so like quiet mouse who just stays in her own zone? And while that is all good, there's always has to be a balance. There can be equal share. But me, I realized that I was not being the same across the board. I might, for example, pour more into other people, which honestly should be equal. But you know how there's people that you're more close with, so you're going to tell them more or express more to them as opposed to people that you're not really as close with. Or you're at work and you're this like different version of yourself at work, but then outside of it, you life of the party kind of thing. And I knew that that's not me. I want to have a balance. So I gained weight. So that's one thing. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my weight, my confidence. And God was like, honey, no. If you want to even lose weight, first of all, count on me, because I will give you the self-control, the discipline that you need, and I will hold you by your right hand. But it's your personality. Let me take control of that. God was telling me, pray 3 times a day for your inner confidence and pray that you will take the back seat. No, he told me actually, you will take the back seat and I will shine my light through you. And when he said that, I didn't understand what he meant, but now I see and understand to an extent. He's still working on it. When we give our life to Christ and we go through this molding process, we have to also remember that God has made us individual and unique in our own ways, right? So granted, somebody could totally be dependent on, okay, for example, me, I'm not even gonna play. I could be dependent on alcohol for a great time prior to being intentional with Christ, okay? Because like, oh my gosh, it's so good, right? But then you realize the why and the root of it. And it was the fact that you needed, or I needed a substance in my mind. That's why I told myself I needed a substance in order to socialize. God took that away, showed me I need him to socialize because he made me, he knows me better than me, and any substance cannot control me because substances lead to addictions and such, right? Okay, cool. But I feel like sometimes we have this blindfold where we act a certain way that we feel is proper in the environment that we're in, and then negate who we really are. And sometimes we don't catch that. But God will show you or send people your way to help you realize that you have to surrender your inner confidence to him, your personality. Because in order for you to do what he wants you to do, in order for you to optimize your talents and your skills and who you are as a being, you have to surrender that to him. Because if not, you will feel empty inside. And I thought also that that was because I didn't love myself, but then I realized I do love myself. But then I asked myself, what is love? Love is patient, love is kind. And you know the verse. If you're not, I will put it underneath in the description box. So in a sense, I wasn't patient with myself. Not always kind to myself. Rather, I was self-sabotaging myself because I didn't realize that I've been compromising who I am and my personality because I feel like God wouldn't, not to say he wouldn't accept me how I was before, but I felt, now I think about it internally, that who God has made me to be in terms of being refined as this new woman in Christ is somebody who's very quiet and reserved. And let me tell you, honey, no, I'm not. I can go back to the elaborate hairstyle. Well, no, in the Bible it says, but I can go back to having fun with fashion and being cheerful everywhere I go and socializing and saying good morning in a place where they don't say good morning just because that's who I am. And I just want to tell you to stop compromising who you are because of the environment around you. Even Abraham had to leave his environment to fulfill what God had him to do. And that's just to say that you can only be you and you only. And I know that we know that, but sometimes we have to hear that again because a lot of times we don't surrender our personalities, like I said, and our confidence to God because he gives us confidence. He gives us personality. So why won't we let him optimize that? I just want to share that. Hopefully, this resonates with you, but feel free to just talk to God and help him explore the depths of your heart. Because when you do that, you're actually you. You don't feel like you're being confined. For the longest, I thought I was in like some prison because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in like personality prison because one day I'm this way, one day I'm the next, but one day I'm this and the other day I'm that. But in reality, it just needed a balance and it needed God to take control because once you know that he is your strength, you're not gonna let these petty things even drive you crazy. So I know this was very like informal, even in terms of my colloquialism, but nonetheless, confidence comes from him. Personality comes from him. Just because you were wilding out before you gave your life to Christ, or just because you weren't wilding out and now you are, does not mean that you're bad. What it means is that you need to ask God for that balance and ask him to help you see you how he sees you, and think about all the traits that you are. If you are social, if you love to explore fashion, if you like to say good morning in a room full of, be that light. Never dim it for anybody, and keep going and keep growing and keep glowing. Bye, guys.